All right, finna go to get it started. Hold up, man. Hold up, man. Hold up, man. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 86, talking about the 21 lessons that I learned before turning 21. So, this is definitely a podcast that I definitely wanted to do. And, there's going to be a lot of people that, probably wouldn't do a podcast on their birthday, but I definitely had to. It's the Life of a Champ podcast. Obviously, it's a big moment in my life. So of course I need to make a podcast on the same day. So that is what I'm here doing. If you're in here, make sure you go ahead and say what's good, just like as he was in here. Also, okay, a few things I want to say. Make sure you go ahead and tap in with the TikTok Life of Champ podcast on TikTok. I posted a few videos today, so make sure you go and leave a like on those and see the wisdom that was dropped on those shorts as well as the YouTube shorts as well. So make sure you go ahead and leave a like on those as well as I'm pretty sure I posted a video yesterday. So tap in with that video. It's just I think a 10-minute long video, near 10 minutes. Tap in with that as well, and make sure you leave a like on that as well. Other than that, so 21, like I said, obviously a big birthday. I want to say I had a fantastic day. For anyone wondering, I had an absolutely fantastic day. Spent it with the best people, and like I said, I appreciate every single one of those people that I spent the time with. But yeah, definitely had a good lift with Jaden and KJ, of course. You already know what time it is. And then I also had a great brunch uh, with the family. So absolutely fantastic. So just in case you guys are wondering, had a wonderful day. Other than that, yeah. So I do have a lot I want to talk about on today's podcast. This is going to be the 21 things, the 21 lessons that I learned before turning 21. Now, of course, this is not everything that I've learned before turning 21, but these are some significant things that I definitely wanted to mention. And some of these things are going to be repeat things that I've mentioned previously on the podcast. So if this is one of the first episodes you've ever watched, you'll be able to see my perspective on a lot of different things, as well as there's going to be some new things as well. So this definitely should be an interesting podcast for sure. All right, so to get it started, like I said, no one's commenting. Fantastic. Make sure you go ahead and leave a comment if you're in here. But rule number one, the first lesson that I learned before turning 21 is a very, very important one. And this is something that I see a lot of people doing for whatever reason, and something I wouldn't recommend. So I'm going to go ahead and mention that and start it off with this. It's don't let anyone drain your energy, right? You need to understand that your energy, your time, attention, and focus, as well as your money, are obviously very, very important. But I do not think people value those things enough, right? They let people in their lives that abuse them in those specific ways. They abuse their focus, they abuse their time, attention, energy, and money. And if you're a person who's getting abused, truly abused, whether you are conscious of it or unconscious of it, I need you to recognize that these are some of your most valuable resources that you have in your life. And you need to be a lot more defensive with these things, right? Like I said, I'm gonna say it one more time, right? Don't let anyone drain your energy, time, attention, money, or your focus, right? Those are the absolute highest, most important things when it comes to this life. So definitely do not be do not be just giving that away to anybody because not everyone is deserving of that, right? And do not be wasting that on just anyone because, like I said, it is very very important that you hold these things and you keep them close to the vest because they are going to dictate the rest of your life, right? Like I said, your energy. Don't be giving energy into things that are not worth giving your energy in, or you're going to be left feeling truly drained, right? On top of that, your time. Obviously, we have a finite amount of time, and you need to be very, very strategic in how you spend your time, and specifically who you spend your time with. Because if you're like me, which you should be like me in this regard, you shouldn't want your time wasted. You shouldn't like your time being wasted. So that for sure. Attention, and where you put your focus. Attention and focus can be nearly the same thing, right? But where you decide to place your attention and where you decide to place your focus is going to dictate the rest of your life, right? So if you're putting your energy or you're putting your attention and um, your focus on things that they're not worthy of your attention and focus, you're going to be living a life and you're going to be a person that you do not want to become, or like I said, living a life that you do not want to live. So that's why you got to be very, very strategic on how you approach these things of life. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much how I want to start it off. Like I said, if you're in here, shout out to Bree. Appreciate for commenting. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get in rocking. So the second one is one that I learned. I want to say a few years ago. It is going to be live in abundance, not scarcity. This is something that I picked up through my self development journey, and all these are going to be in different phases of my self development journey. But this is something that was definitely important and something that I recognize that a lot of people are not doing, right? You must live in abundance. You must not live in scarcity. So for the people that do not understand, either of those things, right? Abundance is obviously living within an abundant amount of anything, right? So let's just say, for example, um, I'll use a perfect example my grandma used, right? So let's just say you have money, right? You have your mindset set on money. Instead of saying, you know what, I don't have enough money, focusing on the scarcity, not having enough, you focus on saying, you know what, the money is coming in, right? Everything is coming to me, right? So having that attracting mindset as far when compared to, saying, hey, I'm in need of this, right? You need to be able to attract it and not have this needy energy and put this needy energy out into the world because people with needy energy in general they don't have the best life truly, right? And they're going to always be chasing after something that they can't fully attain. So you must live in abundance and not scarcity. And even this can even go in hand with like dating, for example, right? A lot of men that I recognize, they live in this scarcity mindset, right? And specifically with the scarcity mindset, they feel like they can't get enough. They're lusting after something that they can't fully fulfill, right? Or they don't think anyone is right for them, or they believe these certain hindering beliefs that have to deal with scarcity when you should be thinking in abundance, right? There's an abundant amount of everything that you would like in this world. It's just a matter of you putting in the time or in energy in order to get that. So, like I said, live in abundance, not scarcity. I see a lot of people making the mistake thinking that this life is scarce, right? When in reality, it's really not. You must have the abundance mindset for sure in pretty much every aspect of life. The next thing, lesson number 3 that I learned before turning 21 is going to be something that is strategic to me, but this is something that I would hope that anyone watching this can definitely take something from it, right? This is something that I personally learned myself and something that I will continue to do for the rest of my life. This is inspire, empower, and educate the ones around you, right? This is one of the most important things that you could possibly do. You can make a huge impact if you're able to do one of these three, or better yet, all three, right? My goal is to do all three. Like I said, I'm gonna say it one more time for you guys, right? Inspire, empower, and educate the ones around you. So what this looks like for me: inspire somebody by showing them of an example of that it can be done. Empower them to go ahead and do it, and educate them on how to do it themselves. That is the best way I would describe it, right? So that is something that, like I said, you see inspire, right? Oh, right over here, right? Inspire, definitely a big word, and you see it again over here as well, right? Evolve to inspire, right? Definitely very, very impactful word for me, and something that definitely means a lot to me. So, like I had mentioned, inspire, and I also read this one book. It was called, what is it called? The entire book's I just right out of my mind, but it was a book. I could probably find it. Shout out to Elena. She gave me the book. I forgot the name of the book, but it was talking about how to be um, essentially the message of the book was how to be empowering towards other people, empowering them to do the things that they know they need to do and do the things that they should do for the ones around them. And I definitely got a lot of impact through that book. And I wish it could come to my head right now. It's a very, very popular book. The author is very, very popular, man. It just completely slipped my mind. I don't know. I can't remember it. But if I remember it later on in the podcast, I'll let you guys know. But definitely a great book for sure. But like I said, number 3, inspire, empower, and educate the ones around. I really don't need to define educate anybody, right? It's just learning something. Come on now, you know what it is, man. Everything you do in this life has an impact to make it positive. Exactly. That's exactly the way it is. Shout out to grandma. Come on now. All right, number 4, the fourth lesson that I learned before turning 21, and something that is a very, very hard on people, and it's hard to fully grasp this idea because sometimes it can seem like you cannot live without this. But this is letting go of the past and ease your mind of the future. Everything will happen, and it is meant to happen. If it's meant to happen, it will happen, right? You need to be able to control what you can control and release tension in things in which you cannot control. So, to define that, right? A lot of people hold on to things of their past, right? A lot of things that whether positively or negatively impact them, they hold on to those things, right? And you need to recognize that that is nothing more than the past, of course. Not to say that the past doesn't have a significant effect on your life, but the past is just that. It's the past, right? So you shouldn't be living in the past, right? Now you can think about the past. You should think, but don't dwell on the past, because if you're dwelling on the past, you're not living in the moment. And if you're not living in the moment, then you're not living for the future. So you must let go of the past. Like I say, whether it's any negative trauma that you have, which a lot of people, hold on to in the present moment, things that happened in the past, you must release that, as that's something that you can no longer control. Like I had mentioned at the ending of that first point, right? Is control what you can control and release tension for the things in which you cannot control. And this also is present when it comes to the future as well. A lot of people are so future focused, and I'm also one of these people who get lost in the sauce as well when it comes to being so future focused, right? But you need to control what you can control and release tension for the things in which you cannot control, like I mentioned. So, what this looks like when it comes to having your viewpoint on the future, right? The things you can control is the present moment right now. That's all the things that you can control, right? If you can control right now, you can dictate the future in a way. You can, I wouldn't say manipulate the future, but you can, be the control of your destiny as opposed to being a victim of your circumstance, right? So that is something that you can control right now. Whether the outcome is the way you want it to be or not, all you can do is be in control in the moment right now, right? And eventually, hopefully, if you do what you need to do, the world will reward you with the things that you are deserving of. So, like I said, let go of the past, ease your mind of the future, and do what you got to do. Like, do what you got to do in the present moment. The fifth thing that was very, very important, the fifth lesson that I learned. Give me one second. This is very, very important right here. The fifth lesson that I learned before turning 21, and this is something that I would say I developed over my 4 years of self development. And this is something that I don't see enough people talking about, and this is something that I have mentioned on the podcast before, right? But this is understanding the importance in asking the right questions, right? The reason why most people are lost in this world is because they are just incapable of asking the right questions to themselves, and not only to themselves but the people around them, right? And it is just as simple as that, right? The most people who get the most out of life answer the best, or they ask and answer the best questions. So if you want to get the most out of life, try to figure out questions that people who got the most out of their life, what questions did they ask themselves? What things are they really like strong believer of, right? And like I said, ask yourself the question and answer the questions, because those are going to be very, very important, right? Not a lot, not enough people reflect on themselves, right? And they don't ask themselves the right questions. Therefore, that's why they feel empty. That's why they are lacking some purpose or lacking fulfillment in life. It is because they haven't asked and answered the right questions. So now I'm going to make a podcast in the near future talking about the right questions to ask yourself, in my opinion, because like I said, that is definitely very, very important, and will definitely change the trajectory of your life based off of the questions you ask, for sure. So, yeah, like I said, if you want that podcast, I can do it. Hopefully by the end of this year, one of the last two podcasts that I will do. But make sure you go and leave in the comments for sure. But yeah, asking the right questions, very, very important. I cannot overstate that for sure. The sixth lesson that I learned before turning 21 is something that I observed within this last, let's just say this year for sure, last 9 months, right? Is thinking is the most valuable thing that no one talks about, right? In this 9 month period specifically, right? I have had the most amount of time to think about the things that I need to think about in this life. And it's been an absolutely fantastic time, right? I'm very, very appreciative of the moment and all the ones who helped me get to this moment. And it is partially because of thinking as well, right? Obviously, I'm thankful enough to have a great foundation of support with my family and with my friends as well. But being able to have that moment where I can just think for myself and think about the things that I know I need to take care of, and thinking about things that are also bigger than me, right? Which is very, very important as well. But yeah, I do think that people are so distracted, right? They're more distracted than they ever been in any point in human history, right? Where thinking is not something that is being done enough, right? Now, not to say people are not thinking about they're not thinking about nothing, right? That's not what it is, but they're being fed what to think, right? Through social media, through any outlet, right? They're being told what to think, right? Instead of just naturally and organically thinking about what the things that they want to think about. A past habit that I picked up, and it was one of the best habits that I picked up this year. It is going the first few hours of my day without my phone. And I had reaped so many benefits from that habit because I was able to allow my thoughts to come to me naturally. All the organic and great ideas and some of the great ideas that I've had have been developed through that habit because I'm no longer being fed, information to think about, right? Things that don't even matter, right? If you go on your phone, while you're watching this, you might go on your phone within the first hour of your day. I guarantee it, right? Most people, 99% of people watching this go on their phone within the first hour of their day, right? So if you don't allow yourself to have enough time to think about the things that must be of your focus, you're being told what to think. You're letting social media dictate exactly what you think about. Now, this can, obviously with social media, right? You are not really in control of the things that you're fed, right? A lot of the people would like to think that, you're in control of some of the things that you think about, right? You are to an extent, but there's going to be media outlets, news, a lot of these things that, they talk about a lot of things that truly do not affect your life and will not affect your life in the moment currently, right? So you allow your mind to be pretty much told what to think. And now you have to think about these things because you have fed yourself that information, essentially, right? And like I said, thinking is one of the most important things that you need to value more, right? If you can do more thinking without distractions, I would say and I would recommend for you to do it because it is definitely very, very important for sure. All right. And also, like I said, I'll be responding to comments. So if you're in here and you want to say what's good or you have a question or anything pertaining to, me being 21 or anything regarding any of the points that I'm making, make sure to go ahead and leave in the comments. I appreciate it. All right. Lesson number 7. This is a good one right here. This is a good one right here. They're all going to be good ones. They're all going to be good ones, to be fair with you. But give me one second. This is one that cannot be stated enough for sure. Now, number 7 is going to be only thinking, saying, and believing things and acting in ways that are going to be in your best interest for your life, right? Do not believe any negative mindsets that you have, right? There's going to be plenty of mindsets that you adopt, whether it's because that's just something you naturally adopt, which is still can be negative, or something that you pick up from somebody else, right, which can still be negative, which most of it probably is negative. Um, but you should only think. I'm gonna say this one more time. Only think, believe, and say things and act in ways that are going to be within your best interest of life. Period. Right. I see a lot of people, and like I said, the fact that I even need to say this is kind of goofy, right? I'm so programmed to think this specific way that I won't say I don't recognize it, but it's hard for me to empathize with people who don't think this certain way, right? Truly don't think this certain way. I see a lot of people talking about defeating mindsets. They talk about defeating subjects. They talk down on themselves, right? The world is already beating you down. Why would you beat on yourself, right? Yeah, it's just as simple as that. Just as simple as that, right? And you need to be your biggest supporter. You need to be one of your biggest supporters. And if you are one of your biggest haters for whatever reason, being a critic is one thing, but being a hater, right? A lot of people are their own biggest hater, right? You should not be. You should be only uplifting yourself in the moments you need to uplift yourself, not to be hard on yourself all the time, right? You need to encourage yourself, like I said, by saying, thinking, and believing things that are going to be within your best interest. It's as simple as that, right? I see a lot of people, like I had mentioned, whether it's in the gym or whatever. I can't do this. I can never do that. It's this and this. Bro, I'm not trying to hear that, bro. Do not come around me if you have those limited mindsets. It's not going to be good for me, man. It's not going to be good for me. And like I said, if you are around people that say these certain things, you need to do one of these two things, right? Either one, correct them and try to help them out, right? Say, hey, you need to stop saying that because it's not helping you in your life. It's not. Now it's up to them to go ahead and take that or leave that. Um, or this is something that I do: remove them out of your life because they're not helping you, right? And it is not worth keeping that person. It truly is not worth keeping that person if they're not talking about things that are going to benefit you in your life. And I'm not saying I'm not. Well, here's the thing. What I will say is this: there's going to be moments in time that you need to be selfish, quite frankly, right? And you should be nice to everybody because, quite frankly, there's going to be certain people that don't need that energy from you, and that's okay, right? Like I said, only think, believe, and say things that are going to be within your best interest. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's as simple as that. The next one, number 8, the eighth lesson that I learned before turning 21 is do what you love to do and never lose sight of yourself, right? A lot of people get lost in just, the grand scheme of life, right? But you need to be super focused on yourself and continue to do the things that you truly love, because the second you start to do the things that you don't love is the second you start to lose fulfillment and lose that lust for life, right? And if you're a person that wants to live the best life that they possibly can, you must do the things that you know you need to do, and more importantly, do the things that you love to do, right? Regardless of your circumstance, make an effort, because it's a worthwhile effort, right? Do the things you love to do. Like I said, never lose sight of yourself. It's as simple as that, right? I really don't have too much explaining on that. So, like I said, if you're not doing enough things that you truly love, you need to restructure your day. You need to restructure your focus and start being a little bit more selfish, like I mentioned, and do the things that you love to do. The ninth thing that I learned is going to be a very, very important thing as well, right? Always challenge yourself and find a reason bigger than yourself, right? I feel like not enough people challenge themselves truly enough, right? And you need to be a person that challenges themselves, because me personally, right, I'm a person who likes to challenge myself and likes to try to push my boundary and push my limits, because, like I said, I don't see enough people doing that, and I'm a person who's trying to achieve something great. So the only way I'm going to be able to do that is by challenging myself constantly, and more specifically, finding a reason bigger than myself, right? So challenge yourself, and in order to, get past those biggest challenges, you're going to need to find a why that is greater than yourself. That's something that I've mentioned countless times on this podcast, because it is just so significant, right? Find a reason bigger than yourself. A lot of the time, you are not enough. You truly are not enough for your motivation. You're truly not enough for your self-discipline. But you know what is enough? You tell me. You tell me. And what is that? What that is for me is my future, right? That is definitely very, very important to me, and more specifically, my family, right? That is at the top of my importance, right? The top of my focus, right? With that being said, you need to constantly challenge yourself and strive for the best version of yourself. And on top of that, you need to find a reason to keep doing it. And even the moments where you don't feel like doing it, you still have the motivation to keep on going, because that's what you need to do. Yeah, find a reason greater than yourself, and it's as simple as that, right? That is a very, very big lesson that I've learned. All right, the next one. One second, man. One second. I gotta take this off, man. It's getting a little hot in here, man. All right. This one is going to be. I guess this is kind of similar to the one that I kind of already mentioned. I'll mention this one, right? I kind of already mentioned this. Beware of the spells that you cast on yourself and others unconsciously or unconsciously, right? So what that means to me is is understand that, like I said, you say things when you say things about yourself, when you say things about other people, it's going to change. It's going to change your reality in real time, right? So if you have negative beliefs on yourself, you're going to hinder yourself. Or if you have, great beliefs about yourself or about others, it's going to affect them positively, right? So you need to be conscious and in the moment when you say certain things, right? You don't want to just be saying things just to be saying things, and you don't want to joke about things that truly are not within your guys' best interest, right? I see a lot of people, oh, it's just a joke, but your subconscious mind doesn't even know if it's a joke or not. And that's something that people just don't think that deep of, right? They just don't think that deep. And that's okay. You can live your life, do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to give you the best advice that I possibly can give, right? I'm going to give you the lessons from my life, and that is to beware of the spells that you cast on yourself and others, for sure. Shout out to Gabe, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, 6 people in here. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Make sure to leave a comment if there's anything that you want me to mention within any of these points. Also, like I say happy birthday, man. Come on, you already know what time it is, man. It's the birthday. Come on now. All right, the next one, and this is something that not everybody can have, but thankfully I do have this, so I definitely want to talk about it for sure. Give me one second. Lesson number 11 is going to be try your best to have a strong support system, because loyalty is absolutely priceless, right? Now, I've been blessed to be in a position where I have fantastic supporters, right? Absolutely fantastic supporters. And like I said, I don't take it granted for one day. I don't take it for granted one day, not even one day, man. Um, Try to cultivate to the best of your ability a strong foundation of people who truly support you and what you do and the decisions that you make in your life. Um, like I said, loyalty is priceless, and the fact that I even have people that are loyal that have stayed consistent and stayed solid for years is a remarkable thing, honestly. So definitely something I'm definitely grateful for. If you couldn't tell, and yeah, definitely one of the lessons that I learned is try to cultivate a strong foundation of supporters of, like I said, just people who want the best for your life, right? And this kind of goes without saying, but people do not strategically live life and prioritize that, but that is definitely a priority that is something that should be at the top, man, because you're only going to go as far as the ones around you, right? And if the ones around you are not they're not wanting the greatest thing for their life, then they're going to hold you back, man. It's as simple as that, right? All right. Our next one is number 12. Number 12, yes. Lesson number 12 that I learned before me turning 21 is going to be all life situations and habits are temporary, and you must adapt persistently, right? Whether you're having a good day or having a bad day, realize that it's just a good or a bad day, right? Whether you have a great moment or a very, very terrible, embarrassing, and hopefully forgettable moment, that probably won't be forgettable. Understand that it is nothing more than just a temporary moment, right? It's going to be a blip in your life, and you need to recognize that it is just going to be that, right? A lot of people, they live in the past, like I mentioned earlier, right? Where they let the past hinder them in the decisions that they make in the present because they're holding on to something that shouldn't be held on to. And something that I recognize is, like I said, these things are temporary, man. You're going to have your high moments, you're going to have your low moments, and that's okay because that is just the overall experience of life. Understanding that life is nothing more than a set of experiences, and you should just be even thankful for even having this experience in general, right? Not everybody's afforded this experience, and that that not everybody that exists today will exist tomorrow. So you need to be very, very thankful for that, right? Even in your bad moments, like I said, I know it's something hard to internalize, but let's just say you watching this, you're going through a less than desirable moment in your life. Understand that this is nothing more than a very, very temporary moment. And these things will come and go, and you must adapt persistently, right? And even things like habits as well, right? Habits that I developed, throughout this year or throughout my entire self development journey, which is now on the fifth year. Fantastic, right? 2021 will be the fifth year of my self development journey, but the habits that I picked up and used and got the most out of, definitely very, very thankful for those. And I understand that they are temporary, right? There's going to be things that come in seasons, and that is also one of those things that definitely come in seasons for sure. Like I said, appreciate you guys for stopping by. Like I said, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And yeah. All right. Lesson number 13. And this is something that I mentioned on my last, I think one of the last two podcasts for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll be short with it, but I want to get the point across. Lesson number 13 that I learned before turning 21 is going to be life is a journey, not a race, not a it's not a destination, man. It's a journey itself, right? So understand, and you understand that you need to enjoy every single moment. Like I said, you need to embrace every single moment, bad or good. Like I said, it is just life in itself, right? This is just the beautiful human experience that we all have right now watching this, right? And definitely need to take advantage of that. But understanding that this is a journey, man. No one's competing against anybody, kinda, right? And we're not trying to race. We're not trying to race. You're just trying to enjoy the journey and kind of go with it like that, man. Enjoy it the best way you possibly can. Like I said, remove the energy that doesn't need to be there, man. Because a lot of people do not do that, man. I don't understand why. Next thing, number 14. The 14th lesson that I learned before turning 21 is going to be exactly. I like that. Keep your goals in sight and follow your dreams. It's a wonderful journey. Exactly. Make it a wonderful journey for yourself, right? Do not make it a less than desirable journey than it already can potentially be, right? All right. Point number 14 is going to be only compete and compare to your previous versions of yourself, right? I feel like a lot of people, and I've heard this quote, and I think I've heard this said before, and I don't know where, but I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. Is there's people that compare their day one to somebody else's day, let's just say 100, right? And that is not a worthy comparison. That is not a worthy comparison, and you shouldn't do that to yourself, quite frankly, right? Obviously, people have heard this saying right here: comparison is a thief of joy, and that is exactly right, right? You don't ever. It's hard not to. I'm gonna say that it's hard not to, and right, and everybody to an extent, has some type of comparison, um, or compares their life to somebody else's, right? But you must understand and appreciate the life that you have, right? You have it for a reason, and you need to only compete and compare yourself to your previous self, right? Let's just say, for example, right? I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with myself. I'm comparing myself to a previous version of myself, right? Me starting this podcast a year ago, almost a year ago now, coming up in a few days, actually, the 7th of January. January 7th, compared to where I am right now, right? Night and day, right? And I'm glad for the progress that I have made, and I'm glad for the support that I've thankfully have from the people who, are watching this right now. But yeah, you compare yourself only to a previous version of yourself, right? I'm not comparing what I am right now, almost a year in, to, like, let's just say somebody like Joe Rogan, or let's just say somebody like, I don't know, a great podcaster, right? It's not a worthy comparison. Now I look at where I am 1 year in, and I would say, look at where they were 1 year in, right? That is going to be more of a fair comparison, right? And you should only judge it like that. Don't judge somebody's craft that they've been, dedicating their life to for, like decades, right? Compared to your life, right? It's not a worthy comparison, right? But yeah, that's the 14th one. 15th one. This is something. If you can just take one thing from this podcast, take this one point right here. The 15th lesson that I've learned before turning 21 is going to be: the most valuable things in life are things that money cannot buy. Like I said, I already mentioned a few of them in here, man. Support, loyalty, respect, a physical body that is worthy of respecting. These things are not things you can potentially buy. You cannot buy any of these things, right? Love, you cannot buy love, right? All the things that are truly the most valuable things in this lifetime, for example, as well, are things that you cannot buy, and you need to rid yourself of this conditioning that society has, telling you that these materialistic things are, the highest of value, when in reality they're truly not, right? This is something that I internalized within my first 2 years of my self-development journey. So about 17 or 18 years old, I recognized that, the most successful people in this entire world said to stay away from materialism, right? You see, I heard this said the other day, right? Millionaires wear chains and billionaires don't wear chains, right? Because they understand that, materialistic things are not a worthy pursuit, right? And this is something that you potentially grow out of, right? And I feel like a lot of people truly are lost because society is, pushing this narrative on you, saying, hey, you should value these things, right? Whether it's the newest shoes, the newest clothes, the newest whatever, right? Whatever it is, right? I'm a person who, is thankful enough to be in a position where I understood at a very young age that, I'm just like everybody else. I like nice things, right? If you watching this, I'm sure you like nice things, but you should not pedestalize somebody or something that is nothing more than a materialistic thing, right? Whether this is a watch, like I said, whether this is a car, whatever it is, right? These things, when it comes to the end of your life, man, you're truly not going to be focused on these materialistic things. Oh, he had the coolest shoes. Like, you're not going to be thinking about that, dude. You're going to be thinking about the impact. You're going to be thinking about the time spent. You're going to be thinking about the people you surround yourself with. You're going to be thinking about a lot more than what society places value on, right? Understand that, and you'll be much better off. The 16th lesson that I learned before turning 21 is going to be, shout out to Grandma. I read a book called Atomic Habits with her, and this is a concept that I got from that book. This is going to be: your environment sets you up for failure or success. Don't let the people around you to tell you who you are and what you can or can't do. A lot of people will try to place limitations on you. You must get rid of those people. Understand that you have no limitations in this life. You can achieve anything that you want to achieve in this life if you put enough work in. And more specifically, you cultivate an environment worth having, right? A lot of people surround themselves with people and surround themselves within an environment that isn't ideal and, set up for them to succeed truly, right? And, there's a lot of people that try to, get rid of habits and do certain things, but they truly will never do that, and they truly won't recognize why they won't do that, no matter how strong your self-discipline is. If your environment is not set up for you to succeed, you truly will not succeed, right? If you are a person who is trying to stop drinking, but everybody around you is drinking, shit, it's going to be hard for you, super hard for you to, quit drinking. That's just what it is. That's just what it is, right? Your environment is not set up for your success. Let's just say you're in a household of people who are overweight. They like to eat a lot, right? And you're a person who's also overweight and likes to eat a lot. and you say, hey, I'm going to take a stand and I'm going to, oh my God, I got distracted. And I'm going to, eat healthier, right? It's going to be a lot harder to do when your environment is not set up for your success. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. All right, the 17th lesson that I learned before turning 21 is going to be you must work on your physical self, your physical manifestation of your progress, right? You need to focus on healthier living, your willpower, self-discipline, and confidence, right? These are all kind of tie in to the physical, right? It is as simple as that, right? If you're a person who's not living the best physical life that you possibly can, you should at least strive for that, right? That should be an ideal that is worth pursuing and something that you need to continuously work on, right? I'm a person who goes to the gym 6 days a week, and I always still find ways that I can improve my physical self, right? Am I satisfied with where I am? No, I'm not. Should you be satisfied with where you are? Sadly, you should not be. You should understand that this life is filled with potential progress, right? Potential better health. And it's as simple as that, right? You need to do what you got to do to live the most healthiest life you possibly can. Now, this is something that people will hear and people will not act on, right? Be a person who truly acts on these things, and you're going to thank me later for doing that. And you're going to thank, more importantly, yourself and also your past self for making that decision for sure. But yeah, it's going to lead to everything more healthy, right? You're going to be more confident, you're going to be more self-disciplined, you're going to be a person who's going to command respect in a room because you are of better health than people, right? Or better physical health than people, right? And like I said, these things are worth pursuing, truly worth pursuing, right? And definitely a lesson that I learned, and definitely something I internalized within the last 2 years, as that's how long my fitness journey has been. All right, rule number 18. Rule number 18. The 18th lesson that I learned before turning 21 is a quote that I had made myself. Now, this is something that I have got inspiration from, but I'm going to give you the quote that I came up with, right? I don't think anybody specifically said it specifically like this. So I'm going to give you a champ quote. This is going to be, I don't got a problem with being real. I got problems that come with being real. I'm going to say that one more time for you. I don't got a problem with being real. I got the problems that come with being real. What I got from that is truth and honesty kills, quite frankly, right? A lot of people don't want to hear the truth, right? And I'm a person who is going to be as honest and as truthful as I possibly can be because I truly believe that is what you need to hear, right? Whether you like it or whether you don't like it, I'm going to be that person who's going to be honest with you. There's not many people in this life that are truly honest with you, that truly will not sugarcoat things, right? And of course, there's a time and a place, but don't sugarcoat to the point where it's a lie, right? Shout out to Anthony. I'm not saying that to take shots at him, but I'm saying that because he's the one who helped me develop that mindset as well. But yeah, I'm gonna say this one more time. I don't got a problem with being real. I got problems that come with being real, right? There's a lot of problems that come with being real, right? A lot of people do not acknowledge these problems because not a lot of people actually have these problems, and it's as simple as that, right? No problem with being real, man. No problem with being real. I will keep it 100 with you. I will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And you need more people in this life like that. And if there's something that's, I would say, for you to adopt, besides all the rest of these points, this is definitely one that's worth living out for sure. All right, the 19th lesson that I learned before turning 21 is going to be something that I adopted this year. Truly adopted, internalized, and experienced this year. This is going to be it's okay to be a fool as long as you don't stay being the fool, right? You need to understand that you are going to be a beginner at anything and you will suck at anything that you start at the very beginning, and that is completely okay. You need to be completely submitted to life in that regard, right? Understanding that you are nothing more than an amateur, and that is, just the human experience. Is starting new things and being just okay at it, or being below average. You need to understand and internalize that that is okay for an extended period of time. Um, I forgot where I got this thing from, but it's in order to be a master, you must need to be a fool first. Full to the master transformation. You'll see it on my channel somewhere that I have it on there for sure. But yeah, that is something that I recognize. You need to adopt the role and be content with being the fool for a temporary amount of time. But you must not stay being a fool for the rest of your life. You must transform into a master with time, self-discipline, and putting the energy into things that need to be put into, right? And like I said, it's okay to be a fool at first, but you should not stay a fool at something, right? But yeah, it is just as simple as that. With this podcast at the beginning of the year, I was being the fool, right? Uploading videos on YouTube, doing podcasts that were hard on the ears to say the least, right? At least looking back now, right? But I understood what I needed to do. I understood that I needed to adopt the role as the fool, and eventually, with a lot of time, dedication, self-discipline, and focus, I would get better at this craft. And if you see the progress, you see the progress. If you don't see the progress, then you haven't watched any of the older episodes. As simple as that. But like I mentioned, adopt the role as the fool. If there's something that you want to try and you're so scared of just sucking at it, well, you need to suck it up because that is life in itself, right? It's okay to suck at something at first. So suck at something at first and get better with it over time. The 20th thing, I'm on my last two. The 20th lesson that I learned before turning 21 is going to be understanding the importance of gratitude, appreciation. Yeah, pretty much understanding the importance of gratitude and appreciation, right? Being grateful for the things that you have and being appreciative of the ones around you and the things that they do for you. This is something that, if you know me personally, right, this is something that I will always do. I will always give my thanks and appreciation and show my gratitude when, I deem to be a moment where gratitude needs to be expressed. I will definitely do that because that is something that I recognize that if you want more out of this life, you need to show gratitude. You need to show appreciation to people that need the recognition truly. And yeah, that is something that people don't do enough. They don't appreciate the ones around them enough. They don't show gratitude enough. And I want to be a person at the end of my life saying that I did that fully for sure. I showed enough appreciation. Of course, there's always going to be room to show more, but I'm going to be a person who's going to be content with the way that I live life because I was a person who expressed gratitude and expressed appreciation for the things they needed to be appreciated for. So yeah, that is going to be the 20th thing, and the last one, the last lesson that I learned, the 21st lesson that I learned before turning 21 is going to be an empire isn't built in a day; it's built every day. Make sure you're laying down the bricks to your empire every single day, right? Do not miss a day where you're not improving your life in some capacity, right? In some endeavor. I'm a person who recognizes that, like I said, in order to be one of the most successful people or be a successful person in general, I understand that it needs to be a daily grind. It's something that I focus on and be conscious of daily, right? And I lay down the bricks every single day in some type of way, in some type of form or fashion, in many different endeavors, right? I'm a person who's going to be laying down the bricks every single day because I understand that an empire isn't built in a day; it's built every single day, right? So yeah, that is going to be the 21 lessons that I learned before turning 21, right? If there's a specific one that stood out to you, I want you to go ahead and leave in the comments, right? If we got 4 people watching, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on the video. Like I'd mentioned, make sure you go ahead and tap in with the TikTok, Life of a Champ podcast on TikTok. Also, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on my YouTube shorts, as well as the YouTube video that I posted a few days ago as well. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like on that. But yeah, I'll leave it to you guys. Do you guys have any comments regarding any of the things that I had mentioned before I go ahead and end this off? Oh, another thing I want to mention, real quick. Like I said, you guys leave your comments. But going back to number 18, right? I don't got a problem with being real. I got the problems that come with being real. Is more importantly, you need to hold yourself and others accountable because no one else will, right? You need to adopt that role because even though it's uncomfortable and even though it can potentially, get a negative side out of somebody, it is truly what they truly need, right? You need to be able to hold yourself accountable by being real and hold others accountable by being real, right? And people will respect that, man. If they don't respect that, then they truly do not have the right focus, right? You need to be a person that says, "Hey, this person wants the best for me," right? And you need to make that a thorough understanding in everybody in your life, right? If you truly have the best interest in mind for them, you need to say that, "Hey, I truly have the best interest in mind for you, and this would help you out." And yeah, just be that person. Like I said, there's going to be moments of discomfort that kind of show from that, but you need to be willing and you need to be willing to have those uncomfortable conversations because not a lot of people are going to have those. All right. What a lesson you think? What what's a lesson you think you might be slacking at? Out of all these? Hmm. That's a good question. One that I need more focus on. Phew, Um, that is a good question, man. Are you saying just in general? Or are you saying on these, or what helps you get back on track? Okay, so I'm gonna give you. I'll give you what one of the lessons that I try to specifically need to lock in a little bit more on. Jesus, man. I've internalized all these, man. I've internalized all these, man. Honestly, let me look for sure. Hmm. I would say if I had to pick one that I need more focus on, right? One of these things that I might be slacking on, right? I would say it is going to be comparing myself, right? I understand that obviously it's going to be hindering to an extent, but comparing myself to other people is definitely something that probably most people resonate with, right? Is a thing that you shouldn't be doing, but something that you unconsciously do. I feel like it's kind of human nature. Something that I could get better on. That is one of the things that I would say I'm somewhat slacking on, which most people probably are slacking on that as well. Um, or what helps you get back on track. So with all these things, what helps me get back on track is recognizing what I'm doing it for, right? I'm always a person who's very very focused on what I'm doing it for because that's how I will never lose sight. I'll never lose sight on the things that I want to do and the things that I should do if I know what I'm doing it for, right? I constantly reinforce all those things, and whether you believe it as affirmations or whatever you would like to believe, you need to constantly remind yourself, what are you doing this for, right? There's a lot of people that they have one good day. They're really really focused in on the things that they know they need to do. They find a why that is greater than themselves, and they burn out. They burn out because it is not a constant reinforcement that they're giving themselves. All these things that I say are something that I at the very least reinforce twice a week on this podcast. At the very least, I do it every single day. Quite frankly, I know what I'm focusing on. I know what I'm trying to achieve. I know what I'm doing it for, and I constantly remind myself of all these things. Right. So for a person that gets off track, what are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for more than yourself, or are you doing it for the ones around you? Right. And more importantly, right, I thoroughly understand that I want the best for everybody in my life, and the only way that I can want that and act in accordance to that is if I'm truly the best version of myself and constantly striving for the best version of myself. I can't expect somebody to live the best life that they possibly can and be surrounded by me if I'm not living the best life that I truly can, strive for, right? I'm a person who is going to strive for that because I want the best for everyone around me. So therefore, I will act in accordance to that. I want the people around me to be surrounded by the best people, the best quality of people in this life. And the only way I can do that is by being the best quality that I possibly can be. That is something that I can control. And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I appreciate everyone stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and end off here in about 5 minutes. So if you're a person that wants to say something to me, whether it's happy birthday or making a comment on one of the lessons that I had talked about, make sure you go ahead and leave it in the comments. I appreciate it. Nice. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yo, yo, y'all need to relax, man. Y'all doing the most out here, man. Come on now, 21. You know what time it is, man. Family had to come through. What's up, Bashi? How you doing? Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Man, y'all can't even see the balloons on here, man. It's crazy. That's crazy, man. No, definitely not 15. That's for sure. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I was like, whoa, whoa. All right. You already know. You already know. Family, love the family, love the family, of course. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end off here in a few minutes. Make sure you go ahead and, like I said, leave a comment if you have any last thoughts. Appreciate it. Appreciate AJ and Kane for sure. Shout out to them. Shout out to them as well, man. Isaac, appreciate you for stopping by, man. All right. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end off here in about 4 minutes. Like I said, if you watched it or if you want me to run down the entire list one more time, make sure you go and let me know in the comments, and I'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, there was a lot to take in right there. Hopefully you guys have learned something from this podcast and can take something away and apply it to your life. Yeah, these are definitely very, very important lessons that I've learned. And of course, there's plenty of more lessons and things that I've internalized and learned throughout this 21-year long journey, right? Um, I'm very, very thankful for every single person that's in my life, every single person that supported me. I cannot say my thanks enough, and I definitely want to show that, as that's what's something that I had mentioned that I do and want to do more of is express my gratitude and appreciation for the ones who have supported me and supported my podcast for sure. So like I said, I cannot say that enough. I cannot say that enough, fellas. 21, fellas. 21, man. Wow. What a ride. What a ride, man. What a journey. What a journey. A lot to take in. A lot to take in, fellas. This will be, and I'm saying this for myself, right? Manifesting this for myself, and I will act in accordance to this as well. 21 it'll be the most fulfilling year that I've lived so far, right? I would say 20 and 19 were definitely some great years for sure. 20 was the foundation. That's what I will say. It is I created a strong foundation for the rest of my life throughout these last 2 years, and now being 21, I'll be in a position to build on top of that foundation. I no longer, of course, you can always improve the foundation, but I no longer need to take a lot of the steps that a lot of people need to take when it comes to building their foundation. I can now build on top of that with less cracks than the average person. I'll say that to the very least, right? Of course, I still have my faults and still have the flaws that I have that I'm constantly and consciously improving on. But yeah, this is going to be a good year for me, and hopefully you watching this right now. Hopefully this is going to be a good upcoming year for you as well, right? 2023, Takeover 23, fellas. You already know what time it is, man. Takeover 23 is something that's I haven't heard anybody talk about this. Something that I've talked about for sure. And if you don't know what Takeover 23 is, it's me taking over, and you watching this taking over the next year for sure, right? This is going to be our year upcoming. What are your goals for this next year? I have a lot of goals. I'll give you some of them. Some goals that I have. I want to post 1,000 videos next year. That is a big goal of mine, right? That is doing what I know I need to do and know I should do. Now from there, hopefully I achieve a lot of the other goals. But quite frankly, I'm not in control of that. All I can do is focus on what I do in the daily, and the outcome will be the outcome regardless. But as long as I put in the work that I know I need to put in, then everything else will come. Another goal that I have is get down my diet. I want to start bulking at the beginning of this upcoming year. And what else? What else do I got? Yeah, I would say I don't have too many goals specifically. More so ways in which I want to act daily, ways that I want to act monthly that will eventually get me to the goals that I want to go ahead and accomplish. But yeah, that's what I will say. Be more focused on the daily, and if you're acting in accordance daily, you will eventually have and achieve every single goal that you set out for sure. But other than that, fellas, I appreciate everyone stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and end it off here. This was the Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 86, talking about the 21 lessons that I learned before turning 21. Once again, I appreciate everyone stopping by. I will be having another podcast on next Tuesday, so make sure you tap in with that for sure, episode number 87. If there's a specific topic that you want to talk about on a future podcast, make sure to leave it in the comments. But other than that, fellas, I'll leave you guys off on with the motto. First time saying it as 21, but I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. Fellas out here, man, we don't just work, man. We outwork. So make sure y'all working these motherfuckers every single day. Never miss a day. Never skip a day because, your opponent isn't for sure. Outwork them every single day, fellas. As simple as that. Y'all have a good night, man, and I appreciate everyone and everybody for their I appreciate everyone for their nice words and saying happy birthday. I appreciate everyone. You guys have a good rest of your night, and like I said, next podcast is going to be on